Most people tend to eat half the cookie dough they make before they even end up putting it in the oven. I'm here to show you how to make quick and easy edible cookie dough that is very tasty. Hopefully by the end of my demonstration, you will know how to make cookie dough that is safe for you to eat because there are no raw eggs and the flour is heat treated. I first learned to make edible cookie dough back in 2020 when we were all stuck at home and really bored. I really enjoyed it and probably made it a little bit too much back then, but now I just make it whenever I'm craving something sweet and it doesn't take too long to do. So today I will show you the ingredients you need, how to make, and the final product of edible cookie dough. First, before you begin making your cookie dough, you need to make sure you have all the ingredients and supplies. So first, we have brown sugar, vanilla extract, this is milk, just put in a little container, softened butter, and a bowl or a container like with a lid, so then you can just keep it like that. Flour, chocolate chips, and you also need measuring spoons. So for this you'll need 1 cup, 1/2 a cup, and 1/4 a cup. And you need something to mix it with, and you need a teaspoon, and you need like a leveler or like just like any back of like a spoon or something, and you need a liquid measuring cup for the milk. Now that you have everything prepared and ready, you can begin making your cookie dough. So first, you take the 1 cup, and brown sugar is first because it is like the base of the mixture. So just scoop up 1 cup of brown sugar, and you can pat it down with your spoon. Because when you measure brown sugar, you need to make sure that it is packed together, because that's just how you measure brown sugar. And then you can level it off with your little leveler. So it is the perfect amount. And just pour it into your container. Next, you're gonna add the vanilla extract. So for the vanilla extract, you'll take your 1 teaspoon, and you're gonna need 2 teaspoons. But when you measure vanilla, make sure to be very careful, because it is a liquid. So do it over the container. Then you measure 1, pour it in, and then you measure 2, and pour it in. Okay. So after you add the vanilla, you need to measure your milk. So take your milk, and you need a liquid measuring cup since it is liquid, and you can pour it into the milk, to the measuring cup. And for this, you need to make sure that you get eye level with it because that's how you read the measuring cup, and it is perfectly 1/4 a cup. So just pour it into your container. After you add the milk, you can now add the butter. The butter is softened, so you can either leave it out all day, like in room temperature, or you can put it in the microwave for like 15 seconds because it needs to be softened so it is easy to mix. Yeah. So once you pour the butter into the container, you have most of your ingredients except for the flour and the chocolate chips. You are now ready to mix the ingredients with the spoon. Okay, so it doesn't look that appetizing right now because there is no flour, but it will soon look really good after you add the flour. And you're gonna make sure to mix up the butter because it's really like chunky because it's like the solidest thing in there right now. So keep mixing hard and to get rid of all the chunks. And this might take a while, or you could use an actual mixer. That would be a little easier, but I did not right now. So once it is fully mixed, you can now add your flour. Okay, so here's your flour, and you're gonna need 1 cup and 1/4 cup of flour. And when you measure flour, you're gonna need to make sure that it is like soft, so it's like the opposite of brown sugar. So you're gonna wanna like stir it up a little bit, and then like slowly like add in, so it is fluffy. Then add in 1 cup. It may take a while. So yeah. Then when you have about 1 cup, you're also going to take your leveler and level it off so it is exactly 1 cup. Then you can pour it in, And then you take the 1/4 cup and do the same thing with measuring it. Level it off with the leveler. Then pour it into your mixture. Now you have most of your ingredients except for the most important part, the chocolate chips. But you're gonna stir it together. Start stirring very slowly, because if you do stir really fast, then all the flour is just gonna like kind of explode on you. So start very slowly, and it's also easier if you have a bigger bowl, so it doesn't, like, the flour doesn't go over the bowl, it just stays in. And then just keep mixing until you don't like see a lot of like white flour. And as you can tell, it is turning into the cookie dough mixture. And just mix until you don't see any white. So there, it is perfect cookie dough mixture. Now you have your final ingredient that you need to add, and it is chocolate chips. You can add however much chocolate chips you want. And for this, I'm just gonna add a 1/2 cup, because I think it's like a normal amount to add. But you can add more or less based on how much you like chocolate chips. So once I get about 1/2 cup, I'm gonna pour it in and mix it all together. Make sure to mix it thoroughly, because you don't want all your chocolate chips just to be at the top of the mixture. You want it to be evenly distributed throughout the whole thing. Now you are done with your making of the cookie dough. I have just shown you how to prepare and make edible cookie dough, and now you can enjoy it. Now you know how easy it is to make edible cookie dough. Thank you for listening to my speech.